welcome to my pick a card channel, the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm here with a pick a card reading for you. Today's topic is all about separation, no contact situation that you may find yourself in. If you are new to the channel, please join us, pull up a chair and get cozy. We're going to have a little chat because we're all friends when we gather around this table. If you're one of my original subscribers, thank you guys so much for your beautiful friendship. Thank you for your presence here on this channel. Be sure to drop your comments below, whether you are new or an old subscriber, for your chance to win a free tarot reading from me. All you have to do is drop your comment below. An emoji is fine. Hit your notification bell so that I can notify you if you are chosen the winner. For today's topic, again, it's all about no contact, and will this separation ever end? Will the two of you ever come back into contact? What are their thoughts on no contact with you? So we do have 3 piles to choose from today. We have pile number 1 here with the red flower and the golden egg. We have pile number 2 with the black egg and the yellow flower. And we have pile number 3 with the cosmic egg and the purple flower. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, there may be messages waiting from spirit, and I'm going to jump into pile number 1. Will the separation ever end? What are their thoughts on no contact? Pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the red flower. You were also drawn here to the golden egg, and I feel like there's a purpose to even being drawn to the red flower. It's a symbol of empowerment. It's something that perhaps you hold on to this connection, you hold on to this person because it does empower you in some way. It makes you feel safe in some way, and we are trying to keep it safe. This golden egg is something precious. You know, it's valuable for us. It's priceless, and we're trying to keep it softly hidden and protected in this beautiful soft hay. So this is something that you want to come back around. This is somebody that you have no interest in releasing in this present moment, and this could be a good indication that there is a two-sided energy to that as well. It's like this empowers us. We want to protect this connection. So let's take a look and see. Actually, I'm going to use the Crow Tarot for you. So what are their thoughts to begin with on no contact? We're going to start there, and then we're going to look at, will the separation between the two of you ever end? What to expect in the future? Some advice from your guides and angels. And I'm reading for the collective, so please take the messages as they resonate and leave behind those that do not feel that they resonate with you. We have the Knight of Swords and we have the Magician. What are their thoughts on no contact, please, Spirit? They really wish they had said something. Like there's something about them having so much left to say to you and really wanting to express that, but feeling like they're chasing a ghost or feeling like they're chasing something that it's almost like they worry that it's too late. But they feel this desire to communicate with you. Queen of Wands. Very strong Leo energy here for the Queen of Wands, Ace of Swords. And I feel like there's an aspect of empowerment with this person in regards to how they feel about you and their thoughts on no contact. Like they're empowered by this connection too, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, because yes, it empowers them, but there's thorns amidst the roses here because their empowerment, their clarity perhaps came too late, or they felt like it came too late. But they still have it. They still have the clarity about who you are and what you deserve. And they're trying to protect that. They're trying to protect the way that they feel for you. They're trying to protect the connection. They could even be trying to protect you, especially if you're in new foundations at this time, because they keep talking about protection. But they've had this epiphany. They've had this aha moment when it comes to you. It hit them like a ton of brick. The reality, because of the disconnect. They could have perhaps not had this epiphany as profoundly as they did if you guys were in constant contact. And you can see that it's not just a tower, it's a clock tower. So timing is of the essence, or they're worried that the timing is running out, or that they ran out of time to create change. They could also be worried about upheaval, especially if there are other foundations in place, but you will know if that's true for you. We have the Queen of Swords. I don't feel like they want to wreak havoc in anybody's life, themselves or your life in this moment, by sharing their epiphany. They want to keep it safe, but they're also a little bit intimidated by bringing that truth forward, and they could be hoping for a sign from you in some way. And somebody needs to take a leadership role here, and you feel really far away to them. There's the Seven of Swords. But this person, they think about you so much. They're always thinking about the past in relation to you. There could have been conflict between the two of you in the past, or just a lack of clarity between the two of you, because they keep thinking about the things in the past that conflict them, the ways in which they didn't commit, the ways in which they were dishonest in the past, and they want to rectify that. But because there's a healing component, it's like they feel like they need to set you free from the ways in which they approached you in the past, or the conflict that they created for you. It's like they want to set you free from any disillusionment or any type of fear that you have, where you might think that you're not important, or that you were overlooked in some way in the past. But it's like you're unattainable right now. It's like they wish for you, but they feel like they can't have you. And this could be because they're watching, or they have information about what sort of cycle you're a party to in this moment, or you're involved in. What are their thoughts on no contact, please, with pile number 1? We have the Devil. And they're stuck on you, like literally. I keep hearing that Justin Timberlake and Ariana Grande song. And I also keep hearing that song by NSYNC. And I know there's a big thing now, NSYNC keeps coming back around. That song, Gone. It's like they're going over and over in their mind. They're replaying events over and over. They wonder if you are afraid to look bad, or if you're afraid to come forward as well. They think that you might be wearing a mask, or you wore a mask in the past with them. And that you may, in your opinion of things from the past in this connection, you may have this opinion that they kept you waiting, but they feel like you kept them waiting too. It's like they're trying to evenly split the blame about what brought the two of you here. I just heard piracy. It's like they're afraid of making off with something that doesn't belong to them in this moment. We have the King of Wands, but they do feel like the two of you are pretty much aligned. Like there's just something with the King and Queen of Wands belonging together. Together, it's like individually they're forces, but together they're unstoppable. And there's a feeling about both of you protecting that, like protective of themselves, but protecting the connection in some way too. What are their thoughts on no contact, please, here for pile number 1? Oh, they're thirsty. They are protecting something. They are protecting a tower. They are protecting the reality. They're protecting something, at least for now. They're afraid that that protection and the necessity for it is going to lengthen the delays, and it's going to affect the ability of potential in the future. They feel like they have a lot to lose, but the truth is they're thirsty for emotional connection. And they have to act very stoic when it comes to how they feel about you. They're not allowed to talk about it. And there's the Strength. Leo energy, very strong. Aries energy. Capricorn here as well. Aquarius. Back of the deck is the Four of Pentacles, and we have the Four of Wands. And this person, on a very baseline level, pile 1, the Four of Pentacles is somebody who's still very much attached to you. Maybe they've moved into new foundations. Maybe they've started to build for themselves, but that doesn't seem to affect the heart space and what they're carrying with them into those new builds. And so there's this feeling about those new builds also perhaps keeping them at bay, or keeping them from the abundance that they feel like they could have with you. They feel like you're the one that got away. That's what it feels like. And look, they feel helpless. The fours are all here. They're at this pause in their life. It almost feels like a midlife crisis or something. It's like a midlife crisis. So that could be the time period that they're in at this moment, where they don't feel like there's anything they can do. It's not the truth, because the midlife crisis is supposed to wake us up to the ways in which we've invested in fruitless missions. And instead of waking up to that revelation and tapping into the strength that's required, they're taking this passive approach in the present moment. What are their thoughts on no contact, please, with pile number 1? We have here dealings or relationship with a man with white, gray, or blonde hair, and a wish that is granted. So they have desires and wishes associated with you. We have here the flag. It says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. But when I think about the flag, I think about putting a flag on the top of the mountain. It's sitting here on the peak of the mountain. And it's how we've stated some type of sovereignty, or we've stated our position. But the flag that we've put up there perhaps holds a lot of red flags for us as well. They feel like they need to defend themselves from upheaval that this connection could bring about if they were to give into it. We have younger woman, dealing in a relationship with a younger woman, and great passion that they feel towards you, even in the present moment. And romance is in the air. And there's that big red rose of empowerment. In ways you do empower them, but there's also those thorns amidst the roses that stop them from being able to execute in the present moment. Let's get some message cards here. What are some of their thoughts, please, on no contact for pile number 1? And then we're going to ask Spirit about the future of this connection, what to expect. I knew exactly what I was doing. It's like I intentionally kept myself hidden. It's almost like they had this foresight, this moment of epiphany of like, if I don't act now, this might blow up in my face. I just keep hearing that Taylor Swift song where she talks about how we know everything when we're young. We actually know everything when we're young. I hope that you can forgive me one day for any conflict that they created for you. And the conflict might not have been fighting, it could have been, but the conflict could have just been internal conflict that they feel like they created for you. Uncertainty, insecurity, lack of confidence. I wonder now if you're happy without me. Because I'm not available. And that's where that Tower comes in for someone watching in the collective. And I feel you even though we're apart. And for some, you could be very far apart. There could be quite a distance between the two of you. I am very stoic. I don't react when people mention you. They do feel like they have to keep their feelings for you a secret. So let's ask Spirit about the future of this connection. For pile number 1, please, will this no contact ever end? Will this separation ever end for pile number 1? And what can they expect in regards to the future of this connection, please? We have the Knight of Cups coming forward. The desire to not be forgotten here is very strong for the Divine Masculine. We have the Devil, the Knight of Swords, I just heard I didn't listen. I didn't listen. It's like somebody lamenting that truth. It's like I just didn't listen. Queen of Swords and the 10 of Swords. Back of the deck is the Page of Wands, and we also have, I feel like I have a lot of decks coming out here now. The Page of Wands, and we have the Page of Swords. Now, what I'm really feeling for you, pile 1, is that this person may have the expectation that you're going to reach out, and you may actually have the expectation that they are going to reach out to you, and you're both holding on to this expectation, and both of you could be wrong. Ultimately, you both have the freedom of choice, of course, to create change, and both of you are very curious. This person is very curious about creating that change, but I also feel like they're going to be complacent in their half of things. Their intuition is telling them to reach out to you. They're feeling the desire and the prompt to reach out to you, but the vulnerability that they feel might get in the way of that. So this 10 of Swords here talks about how, you know, the wasp end, when a wasp stings you, it just keeps stinging. I got stung by a wasp this summer, and it was so angry that I disrupted its little hidey hole that it just kept stinging me over and over and over again until I got myself out of there. And so there's a reality about the transitional period here that we might have to face, because they're saying that nothing really changes if nothing changes. And you can see with the Knight of Swords here that he's literally sticking the sword down his throat. It's like his truth is there, but he's not wielding it, and he's not listening to the notes of intuition. So if you have the expectation, if you're remaining passive and they're both remaining passive, and you both have this expectation of change and neither one of you heeds to it, then we're sort of stuck in these codependent situations, and we're stuck from any sort of solution coming forward here. I do feel a watcher element in this connection at this present moment, and the curiosity is rampant. Like there is this great desire to seek out clarity or information or new starts from this connection, but it's not going to naturally flow in that direction if nobody takes the initiative and changes things. And they're saying that that's a challenging thing because this is a reality that stings, because the reality that stings could be relatable to commitment cycles and the inability to create space at this present moment. And if nothing in those dynamics change, then we don't see any movement in the future of this connection. Let's get a card of advice from your guides and angels, please, for pile number 1. Because we are the force that acts upon objects to get everything into motion. Somebody has to be the force. We have here, you're able to see what's in store for the future and slow down, pause, and breathe. And truthfully, there is this inability or not a readiness to create the change that's necessary to create the breakthrough. And there's this message coming in from your higher self about your intuition and how this isn't necessarily going to come as a shock or a surprise to you because you already have that wisdom code sitting inside of you. It's like maybe this has been, again, a very long-standing separation, and we can anticipate that to continue unless somebody gets focused in their next goal. But we have here, get ready for a big breakthrough transformation, and we always have a choice. There is freedom and fluid motion when it comes to the future outcomes in tarot. There's always a choice for you or for your person to change directions and to change your application of strength to create the momentum or the reconnection that you're looking for. And your guides will walk with you no matter what path you choose to take there. But right now we're creating this pendulum energy of a lot of curiosity, but no actual output of energy. So it's like we're not following through with the inspiration that we're feeling. Advice for pile number 1, please. It almost feels like the energy surrounding non-action is intentional, because if neither one of us acts, then we can maintain the potential. We can still keep it safe. We can still keep this golden opportunity lying in the balance, and we don't have to worry about giving it up or giving into the reality of the situation. We have the 8 of Swords, we have the Page of Pentacles reversed, and we have the 5 of Cups in the reversal as well in the bowl. And you know, with the Page of Pentacles, it feels like we're not putting in the effort, or we're not initiating the cycle enough. There's this feeling of being too stuck to create a deviation of the situation. And this 5 of Cups reversed is really speaking about recovery, perhaps after loss, or doing what we have to do to create a situation where hope returns so that we can create new opportunities towards growth. Right this moment, there's this me versus me situation that is keeping everything stagnant. We have here the X and the Z. We have the letter Q. We have the Sun rune, looking at things above. We have the Ace of Wands, so inspiration. We have the Hospital. I think about institutions, could be hospital, work environment, education. We have the Tree of Life, and it's in the reversal. This can talk about foreclosures and divorces, breaking down of investments as well. All right, pile number 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. If it does, drop your comment below for a chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading if you feel called to. And I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the yellow flower and to the black egg, and this is your reading. Will this separation ever end? What is your person's thoughts on no contact? Now, the black egg speaks about a long-standing no-contact situation, something that we fear perhaps is reaching an expiry date. So there's a lot of potential in this connection, but maybe timing is an issue, or we're concerned about timing. There's a feeling about hope waning because of the length of time here. But all of these, it almost makes me think of like one of those Glad garbage bags that has like the hefty ability that stretches. It's like we have the capacity to keep extending the time because of the potential that we feel in this connection, and we are almost fearful of letting it go. So let's take a look at this person's Thoughts on no contact, please, for pile number 2. How do they feel and think about this no contact situation that they find themselves in with pile number 2? They just drew my attention right to my stone here with the double-edged points. We have the Knight of Swords. Very interesting because the Knight of Swords came out as the first card in pile 1. The Page of Wands. The Wheel. Oh, we've got so much going on here. Let me see here. Oh my goodness, we have the 6 of Coins, 6 of Swords, the Empress, and the 3 of Wands. We also have the Hanged Man. I'm going to keep them all. There's a story here. King of Swords. Back of the deck is the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Star. Now, it's interesting that the Knight of Pentacles came out as your back of deck because we were dealing with the Black Egg and this extensive, slow-moving energy that we've experienced here. Even the horse is looking back at his rider like, are you going to prompt me to move, or are we going to just sit here forever? The Star of Aquarius is here as well. So you could be in Aquarius energy, perhaps, if you're the Divine Feminine. You don't have to be, of course. They could actually be the air sign in this moment. And even though there is this extended in-between phase, this person does not want to give up. It's like there's a determination to be focused, to be holding on to the connection. They feel like the two of you are very sort of destined to be, or destined to cross paths in some way. And they think often about what it's going to be like in that first moment or in that first reunion. It's like they fantasize about what that's going to be like. They reflect upon it. It's almost like they come up with this expectation in their mind of how it's going to progress in that moment. Because they feel, it's like they prepared a script. They know what they want to say. They know that you're the only one who can provide the answers that they need as well. There's the Justice, Libra. And either way, it's like they feel like the truth will set them free. Either in a very positive way towards you or negatively away from you, but still it will set them free. Because they can't help but, they're talking about juggling the moon phases. And these moments and these times, and maybe even years, all these times we go around the sun, where we have the opportunity for release and reflection. We have the Moon. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Ace of Swords. I almost feel like this person is preparing themselves for the worst. And that could be one of the reasons why they're delaying the actions that they could take, is because they're preparing themselves for the worst. It's like they're bracing themselves for impact. We have the Queen of Swords and we have the Eight of Swords. There's also this feeling about them realizing that you're unable to talk to them, or feeling like maybe you are maybe even unconcerned and you don't want to talk to them in some way. But they feel like information coming from you is unlikely, or they don't expect it in the present moment. And that could be because they're watching, they're privy to something that's going on in your life, or not. But they're also, it's like I feel like they're almost trying to beat vulnerability to the punch. Like Brene Brown says in her writings. It's like they're trying to convince themselves that when, and I feel like it's a when issue here, perhaps, pile 2, is that when I talk to this person again, because they're sure that it's going to happen, it's like intuitively, they're like, this has to happen. We have to see each other again, because it's meant to be in that way. It's like it can't stay the way that it's kept. We have to have some type of closure in the very least. Clarity, hopefully, closure in the very least. So they're convinced that it has to happen, but for some reason they don't think it's like they're preparing themselves for you not to act towards them. And that could just be their way of trying to soften the blow if that never happens, to ease the pain of that chronic pain that they're feeling, or the disappointment that they're feeling, because they are feeling sort of devastated. It's like it's almost like they keep having to go back to the drawing board to make a new plan towards you, because they'll make a plan and then that plan doesn't make sense, or their intuition tells them not to do it, or fear stops them, or they feel like it's like there's something with the shield. The divine feminine is taking a stand and she's got a shield, and she also has this nest on top of her head. So the divine feminine could be in a period of growth or building. There could be motherhood or children involved in this moment. That could be the reason why they delay some of their approach as well, because they may be privy to what you're going through and what you're feeling in this moment. And so as far as advancement in the present moment, this person feels like they cannot right now. They're like, my hands are tied in this moment, but I heard backup plan. It's like, I've got a backup plan. And I feel like their backup plan has a lot to do with seeking out more information about this situation. They know that time is an issue and they're worried about running the expiry. They're worried about running out of time, ultimately. And to be honest with you, it sounds sad, but it's almost like they're not necessarily worried about losing interest in contacting you. It's almost like they're worried that something could happen in the world that takes them out of it, or that takes you out of it, or they're just worried about running out of time in life before they get a chance to have this conversation, in the very least, with you. And it's the very least, because in the perfect world, they'd be able to express to you all of their hopes and desires towards you at this time. It's not a perfect world in the present moment, so they are struggling to come forward at this time. How do you feel about no contact right now? And I feel like there's a reality surrounding you that's grieved them over and over and over. It's like a jealousy that comes in. It could be like, because I'm almost seeing like children, or maybe multiple children, and it's like every time they heard of you having another child, or every time that they heard of something good happening in your life that evolved or advanced your life in some way, it's very bittersweet. They do want you to be happy and fulfilled, but they wish that they were part of that fulfillment. We have here, you should accept valid criticism, the cup. And when I think of the cup, I think about healing. I think of resting and taking a break. So they're sitting there taking a break, trying to accept what they would feel is unacceptable. We have here June being significant. That could even be a name for someone significant watching. We have here good news and listening for it. In all of our perfect worlds, the other person would react to us first. It's like, so you would react to them, you would communicate with them. And they're like, their ear is wide open. It's like this huge, it's almost like a funnel trying to collect news from you. So somebody who gathers information about you whenever they can, in whatever capacity they're able to, whether it be watching you online, whether it be through the grapevine, mutual friends. And we have a camel. It says, persevere, you'll overcome your problems. There is a deep thirst. As soon as I saw this animal, I know it's not supposed to be a camel, or maybe it is, but it looks like a camel to me, and I heard camel. We have here increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. And that's what they feel like they are making the distinctive choice between, is whether or not they are in a relationship that fulfills them, or are they in a relationship that the collective says is really practically abundant and makes a lot of sense. They do have a lot of interest in clarifying things and coming forward towards you. Let's see what sort of thoughts have gone through their mind, please, in relation to pile number 2 and this separation. How are they feeling about this no contact situation? I've been receiving your telepathic messages. So they don't feel like there's been no contact. They feel like there's been a communication through the heart space. This could be a very good sign. You will hear from me soon. I keep a close eye on your social media, and I just saw my nerves are getting the best of me. Telepathically communicate with me. I'll put it over here because it's a very similar message. I act happy right now, but I am not. There could be karmic relationships here at play, or what they would define as a karmic relationship, so take that as it resonates. I've thought about taking a trip with you. And back the deck says, I was in denial. And oftentimes when I see the Knight of Swords, especially in the first position, it's somebody who feels like they have rushed to a conclusion. It's like they were convincing themselves that they should move forward. They were convincing themselves to go into new timelines. They were convincing themselves not to say something to you, and they turned out to be wrong. Now let's take a look at the future of this connection and see, what can you expect? Will this separation ever end for pile number 2, please? Will this separation ever end for pile number 2? We have the Four of Swords. The Page of Swords. The Four of Wands with the Four of Cups. We have the Seven of Wands. We wanted to come out sideways, but we're going to put it upright for space-saving reasons. We have the Hanged Man. We have the High Priestess on the back of the deck. There is something about surrendering to what's going to be revealed to you that Spirit's really adamant about here. And because I'm dealing with the collective energy, there's a lot of different emotions that are floating in and around. I feel like this person is on the defensive, or they're waiting, they're defensive about taking action at this time because of practical reasons right now. They're holding back. Now, these practical reasons are actually just a front for the emotional fear of stepping outside of themselves or stepping outside of their situations. But I don't feel the end of this cycle coming in. I feel like there's more that's going to be revealed to you here. And your higher self is coming forward here to talk about that, and to talk about some of the things that she's not allowed to speak about, actually, because she says that this person has some challenges that they have to overcome to push through to create this change. But I do feel like this Divine Masculine is going to take a leadership role in communication in the future. It's not going to be easy, but there's the Magician, and there's the Queen of Pentacles, and there's the Star of Aquarius, and there's clarity coming in for you, pile 2. So even though it's not easy for them, even though it's going to require vulnerability from both of your sides, there is clarity coming in for both of you. And this clarity could come just in the form of a conversation. But when we start the process, when we start to open up the lines of communication, the possibilities are endless on how we want to proceed from there. But there's going to be at least a conversation in the future of this connection that can help the two of you, again, steer towards clarity or make a change in a different direction if you choose to together. So it's not over. Even though you were drawn to the black egg, it's interesting because you were drawn to the black egg, and many would assume, you know, that appearances are deceiving, but many would assume that that means that it's done. But the truth is, that's just a fear that's being physically represented to us in the form of this card right now. This is the fear inside of you about the time frame and the delays and worrying that they will proceed forever. But I do feel somebody taking an initiative. For some watching, it will be the Divine Masculine, but for others, it might be the Divine Feminine that comes forward with more information. But there's going to be a conversation here. And where the two of you take this connection beyond that conversation will be a choice. Will be a choice for the both of you to make. Advice for pile number 2, please. I feel like the Divine Feminine maybe can't communicate right now. She may take more of a passive approach. I feel like the Divine Masculine might come forward soon. The situation calls for adaptability and innovation. The monkey, I always think of children, and I always think about sort of pressure on my back, so the fear of the unknown. And there could be a combination of both of those things that are impeding the process right this moment. But this Four of Cups and the Four of Wands are very combative because one says green light, one says I can't. But whether we think we can or whether we think we can't, we're 100% right. And these solutions, the celebrations are depending upon it. We have here, be grateful for what you are blessed with. And gratitude is the solution for the apathy of the Four of Cups. Gratitude is how we turn ourselves into a new direction or turn our gaze in a new direction. We have here, you will overcome any obstacle. You will make it through this. It's the resolve of the Elephant. There's like a past life connection with this connection. And we've been like, it's endurance. This elephant is, you know, weathered and it's gone through a lot, and there's endurance. It's missing a tusk. And so the delays are real here. And I feel like the delay has been significant, may be significant, but I still feel a conversation is happening in the future of this connection. Get ready for a big breakthrough is on the back of that deck. Let's get a charm pool for pile number 2. Their last thought about no contact for pile number 2. 4 of Cups reversed. Now, see, new solutions coming in already. Trying to figure out new solutions in these thoughts about you. Page of Wands. 5 of Swords reverse. It's just like they just want a fair shot. They just want clarity. They just want a fair fight. They just want some solutions. Or in the very least, some peace. You know, some peace. It's like they have kept themselves at bay. They want to be seen now. They want to be seen by you, potentially as well. And they're also talking about getting over an immaturity or feeling ill-equipped in the past. So they may have been very young when the two of you were hanging out or spending time together. They're talking about being ill-equipped in the past, but now feeling prepared for the reality, the transition, the truth. They have a new outlook and new skills. We have direction arrow. We have the divine masculine coming forward. We do have the tree of life, and here's the elephant, endurance. I don't feel like luck is on our side right this moment, and luck may not be on our side overall for a reconnection completely because of this tree of life. We do have a nickel. I think of May and the 5th of any month, so I think of Taurus energy. This is from 2015, and the beaver is a very family-oriented creature. I often think about the family orientation of the beaver, so that could be significant to a family unit here for either you or your person. Pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. If it does, drop me a comment below for a chance to win a reading with me. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and that link is below as well. And I hope that you come back here and visit at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Hello, pile number 3. You are drawn to the purple flower or to the cosmic egg, and this is your reading. Will this separation ever end with the person on your mind, and what are their thoughts on no contact? The cosmic egg really speaks about the beginning of time. So there could be a very strong sort of past life. It talks about the beginnings of creation. There's never a beginning, there's never an end. It also speaks to me about, with the snake, the temptation surrounding you, and the desire to have the full spectrum, because this egg looks like it's covered in the colors of the rainbow. So lots of potential that we're perhaps hoarding or holding on to, and really needing answers in some way to feel empowered with the purple flower as well. So let's take a look and see what are their thoughts on no contact here between themselves and pile number 3, please. What are their thoughts and feelings surrounding no contact? We have the 2 of Cups. And 2 people are, you know, perhaps wanting to be in a relationship, but wearing masks and taking, like she's sipping on a drink here. So it's like she's being very passive in her approach. Maybe they were passive in their approach as well. So they think about how the 2 of you maybe played some games with each other. Maybe you weren't 100% open and honest with each other in the past. How you both perhaps wanted to be in a relationship as well, but we didn't take the action that was necessary to get there. We have the Hierophant. We have the 8 of Cups. And, you know, there's a part of them, too, that convinces themselves that you've moved on. It's like they tell themselves that. Perhaps to feel more secure about their own lack of clarity with you, they tell themselves, well, it's fine because they've probably moved on. And they're probably happier without me. Like I'm just feeling the sense of like somebody who thinks that you're empowered. We have the 3 of Wands. They're a little bit defensive and a little bit guarded because they also feel like sometimes in these, you know, moments of fear and worry, when they're feeling really unsatisfied in their own environment, they convince themselves that they were just some type of option for you. And that you might look at them as like just one of the options that were interested in you in the past. There's something about the power that you had over them that maybe you even weren't completely aware of, but the power that they felt like you had over them, and the power that they assumed that you had over others as well, that they were not special necessarily to you. And this is just their thoughts, and it could be coming from a very insecure place, so it may not be even in touch with the reality of the situation, but this is their thoughts in the present moment. Because there's something very beautiful and attractive about this beautiful woman, and she demands attention. We also have the Eight of Swords. And they're feeling, if you moved on, they're like, I wish it was that easy for me. It's like they have not moved on. And I feel like appearances are deceiving even in what their assumptions are about you, because I feel like you haven't moved on or you wouldn't be drawn to this reading. Even see here on the back of the deck is the Ace of Swords, and you can see the blue rose coming off, and there's a symbol of like sadness and depression that could come in for this person at times. We have the Page of Wands, and there's the Tower. I'm going to clarify as I go forward. Now this page looks like kind of like a busker. It's like he's collecting coins at his feet, and he's standing against the pillar, and he has his legs crossed. So there's this feeling about their own, the truth is that this perspective, this feeling of despair, this feeling of feeling overlooked by you is actually coming from a prison of their own mind, and it's actually an internalization of their lack of effort towards you. It's like they are struggling with the fact that they just kept sort of waiting to get a clear sign. They feel like there were mixed messages or something, or they say that there was mixed messages, and so they're really reeling against not speaking their own truth. So all of these emotions are just internalizations because they don't have the full spectrum available to them. So all they have to do is create the full spectrum for themselves. We can't ignore the existence of this Tower, and I am getting the essence of commitment cycles here with the Hierophant, with the Eight of Swords, with the Tower energy, and with the concern for the home. So even in the present moment, if there are other relationships that have been forged, we're wearing masks in those relationships. We're not being 100% honest. It's like we're gathering or collecting energy from multiple realms. We have the Judgment. This person has definitely thought about answers and wanting to seek answers, and they're very curious about what you're up to, and they may have tried to seek you out online and they may not have been successful. There's an aspect of them attempting to look at you online, but maybe not getting to feel that curiosity every single time. There's this thirst that they achieved when they went looking for you, and so that could mean that they recognized that they couldn't find you, and that's where the thirst came from. Or they recognize that maybe you're in another foundation and that created a thirst or a jealousy. They have definitely in their mind thought about what it would be like or what your response would be if they reached out to you. But then they became complacent. King of Wands. Because part of them wants to protect, honestly, it almost comes out as wanting to protect you from having to tell them the truth about how you don't feel the same way. But this is just, again, a prison of their own mind. They're creating or inventing these fears and worries. There's even this nun. They're showing me this nun, and there's a message about how part of them wishes that you had stayed celibate. It's like in a perfect world, you would not have been able to move on at all. You would have stayed celibate. And that you would just kind of been waiting for them. That's in their fantasies. That would have happened in their fantasies, but it's a very unrealistic fantasy to have. And because that's not what they are perceiving, if they are viewing you online, it's brought them to a lot of dissatisfaction. And the other issue with this person is that they also don't feel like they are in control of where they're planted right now. They don't feel like they have control over their situation. They do, of course, but they don't feel like they do. They do feel inspired to come forward and to sort of cure their curiosity when it comes to you, but in order to create that change, they're going to have to face changes in their life, and they're not sure if they can do that. We have a lot of Scorpio energy here. We have a lot of fire energy here as well. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, and we have Taurus. This person sometimes dreams about you. They get inspirations about taking action from their dreams or from their fantasies. We have here tent, temporary situation. It's like they're showing the yurt, and there's this feeling about not wanting this to last forever. Not wanting this prison to last forever. Wanting to take back control so that their focus can then be controlled. Because right now they don't feel like they even have control over where their focus lies. We have here honor and respect will come to you, and compliments from an admirer, and a wish that will not be granted. So when they think about renewing the romance, when they think about coming forward, they automatically assume they're going to get a rejection, or that there's going to be hesitation. Again, they're not being honest with themselves or other people. Spiritual guidance, protection from harm. And I hear that song, you're my angel, my darling angel, you're my friend when I'm in need. So there could have been friendship in the past of this situation, and you still influence that environment. Like you still are a presence in their life, even though there's no contact here. You are playing a different role, or they are playing a different role. I just saw good fortune. And wanting reconciliation, wanting their friend back. I also get an essence of like swinging energy. So if there are commitment cycles, they've had fantasies perhaps about swapping partners or about having an affair type situation. So please take that as it resonates. Let's get a couple of message cards to see what sort of thoughts they have had about the no contact situation with pile number 3. And then we're going to look at, will this separation ever end? What sort of thoughts have they had about no contact with pile number 3, please? Just I'll listen to your heart. Like you have to listen with your heart space to hear the truth. They sometimes let the ego intercept all of their heart messages. I feel the same way, and that's the Two of Cups. We started with the Two of Cups. So two people who wanted to be in a relationship, perhaps even today, wishing in a perfect world to explore that possibility. It says they are waiting for you. And of course, it's always easier if we feel stuck to communicate to have the other person take that burden from us. So in a perfect world, they're waiting for you to reach out first. Because now is not the time. They understand that. And I feel like it's because of commitment cycles, but please take that as it resonates. You hurt me, but that's okay, I guess. And it feels like a hurt by omission, hurt by not acting, hurt by not taking a mask off, hurt by, and they're internalizing that, but I feel like they approached you in the exact same way. Back of the deck says, the truth is I have so much desire for you. But my strength and ego, it's like I didn't have enough strength to be able to accomplish more. So I sabotaged myself. It's like they self-sabotaged a really good opportunity. So let's take a look here at the future of this connection. Will this separation ever end? Please, for pile number 3, we have the Queen of Cups. We have the Emperor. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Hermit. We have a lot of Virgo energy, Aries energy, Scorpio, very strong here. For the Divine Feminine, perhaps. The Divine Feminine, here's the Two of Cups. The Divine Feminine might be the key or the solutions here. We have 9 of Cups at the back of the deck and the High Priestess. And there's the 6 of Cups. There will be a reunion here, pile 3. What's interesting about this is they're talking about success is assured with good plans and hard work. They're talking about the Divine Masculine kind of having his head stuck in a singular focus and needing to look outside of the box. And literally the cube, the box, is the root chakra and our sense of security and safety. So they've gotten used to even the limiting ideas that they have about you. It's become a bit of a habit. So they're stuck in that habit. So expansion will be certain, especially if the divine feminine steps forward. There's even the possibilities in the future of this connection to have a relationship again. We have the reunion coming in, which is the desire of our heart. The desire of our heart is the Six of Cups energy of reunions, being able to go through the nostalgia, being able to recapture something from youth. That's going to happen. But beyond that point, it can transition into more if we take the steps that we're guided to take at that point. But it's not over. There is further expansion. I just feel like it's going to be, because the divine masculine has finally stepped outside of their comfort zone and really looked outside the box for solutions. And if we don't see that happening in a timely enough way, the divine feminine, I feel like, is going to step in and take the lumps, so to speak, or take the risk upon themselves. They're talking about loyalty being tested, however, in order to do this. Loyalty towards ourselves, loyalty towards others, loyalty maybe even towards our own logic, and having to really be vulnerable to step outside of that comfort zone. They're also talking about somebody in this connection outgrowing an environment and then the contact coming in after that fact. So it's not over, pile 3. There will be reunions here, and these reunions can lead us to further communication, not just further communication, but also relationships if we choose that path. Let's get a charm bowl for pile number 3, please. Advice for pile 3 in the bowl. Whoops, I missed it. Virgo. 6 of Pentacles. 9 of Swords. There's a lot of fear associated with taking the next step, a lot of overthinking, and that's going to slow things down. I don't think that this reunion is going to happen overnight. I feel like there's a lot of preparation that has to be made. And so there's a lot of overthinking too. There could also be karmic cycles that we need to really deal with in order to anticipate changes as well. So this Hermit is going to take small steps towards the goals. They're also asking us to get focused on a plan because nothing changes if nothing changes. We have the World, unfinished business, the letter E and W and R and V. We have the Star of Aquarius. We have the mask that needs to come off. That was a theme for your reading here. We also have Sagittarius energy. We have the 3 of Cups, reunions with friendships, and then the blank creative canvas, so the blank card. They're also talking about the age 17. There could be Aquarius energy here, but the age 17 could be very significant for this connection as well. All right, pile number 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. If it does, drop your comment below for a chance to win a reading with me. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading if you feel called to. And I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope that you have a great day.